Tonight on the Indie Wave, we speak with Kendra Erica. Defying conventional industry molds, Kendra has established herself as a formidable independent force defined by her signature cinematic vocal style. Her career as a performer is highlighted by high-profile stages, having opened for major global acts such as Jason Derulo and Cody Simpson. Commercial appeal is backed by significant chart momentum, including 5 top 10 hits on the Billboard Dance Club Songs chart, and critical recognition for her visual storytelling, notably winning Best Music Video from Glacier FM for her track Body Language. Kendra Erica, tonight on the Indie Wave.
Wonders what I need.
Wipe out.
Welcome to the Indie Wave, a show where we peel back the layers of the music industry to reveal the core of the music we all love and appreciate. Coming from Klamath Falls, Oregon, we're working to show you the independent artists that are breaking the mold in music land and tearing up the interweb and charts to reach everyone in America. Welcome to the Indie Wave with your host, Christopher Jerk.
Welcome to the Indie Wave, folks. This is the hottest program that's out there that's interviewing all of the major news and interviews and all the big things that are coming up in the music industry. And the person we have here today is absolutely stellar because she has over 1 million views of one of her videos. We're tearing this up this past couple weeks because we've had so many big artists on here. And if you want to know what's going on in the music industry, you got to tune into the Indie Wave because we have all of the top artists that are ever out there, and they're all showing up on this program, which is so cool. I'm just so excited about this. But let me read you a little bit about her before we get into the interview, okay? Shall we? Let's do it. Okay, originally from Boca Raton, Florida, Kendra has had the desire to perform from a young age. Kendra is known for her cinematic vocal style and her refusal to fit into a standard industry mold. She remains an independent artist and has opened up for major acts like Jason Derulo and Cody Simpson. Beyond music, she's a voting member of the Grammy Recording Academy and has served as a Goodwill ambassador for the Hollywood Global Film Festival. She has achieved 5 top 10 hits on the Billboard Dance Club Songs chart and was named Best Music Video by Glacier FM for her cut Body Language. Her most notable success came in 2019 with her remake of Laura Branigan's Self-Control, which reached number 1, of course. And in 2025, she released the single Golden Eye, signaling a move towards a Bond-inspired cinematic jazz sound. This culminated in February 2026 release of her full-length album, License to Thrill. And without further ado, let me introduce you to Kendra Erica. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing very, very well. I got to tell you, I'm a little bit tongue-tied today because you are huge. You're one of the biggest artists we've ever had on this program. So thank you for being here today.
It's good to feel like the big Toro, you know.
Well, I've been watching your stuff since like 6 o'clock this morning, and I've been following all this stuff that you've been doing, and your sound is evolving. I mean, you're getting into more kind of like a big band riff and a big band and jazz and all kinds of cool sounds, and I love what you're putting out there. Yeah, you're doing phenomenal work.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, I'm actually going back to my roots of that like classic, of that like big band, the jazz, the American Songbook, and now like the Bond classics. Because before I was for about 10 years, I was doing dance music and I charted on the Billboard dance charts, but now I'm going back to those roots that I started in classical, in jazz, when I was in my teens and early 20s. And so now it's really nice having that homecoming and being in a vehicle that I have organically engineered for myself.
Well, you're doing phenomenal work, and you're reminding me of like Perov Stellar and a couple of other artists out there.
I love Perov Stellar, yes,
and it's really kind of fun stuff. So I'm loving what you're putting out there.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Yeah.
So tell me, what are you working on right now? What's next up on your agenda?
Well, License to Thrill recently just released in February 13th, and then we had the debut show in Las Vegas, February 15th. And so now it's just the License to Thrill. This is definitely not the end of it. Like this is just the beginning. And so License to Thrill is definitely going to grow. I cannot confirm nor deny whether there might be a volume two, but wink wink.
Wink, wink.
But but even when it came to promoting this first album, I would have people say, "Oh, can you do you do Live and Let Die? Do you do Nobody Does It Better?" And I was like, "That's for volume two."
Well, I'm looking forward to volume two if that's the case, because
Yes.
growing up in the 80s and the 90s, I mean, I obviously watched the James Bond, and
Yes.
to roll that kind of music out into your lexicon is just kind of very cool thing.
Well, thank you. Yeah, and I've also I've been telling different podcasters and interviewers lately that this Bond project has been like the most unifying thing I've done so far, because I was trying to do dance music and go in this direction or go with this movement or go here, and all wasn't really like unifying because one movement would not agree with the other movement, or this wouldn't agree with this, so. And now that there's just this not so much that this brand, but this legacy that is so timeless and nostalgic, it permeates through so many different territories. And how many countries have Bond films been filmed in? Like every single one of them.
There can't be a country that hasn't had a Bond film I can't think of.
So, like I said, it's the most unifying thing I've done so far. And even now, like I don't want to I don't want to turn the tone this way, but even like the two sides that we're dealing with right now, like universe and globally speaking, can agree. Bond is great.
Bond is great. And I have to say, I mean, you're a unique artist in that you transcend history. I mean, I was watching a bunch of your different clips, and I was watching what's oh the oh Christ, I'm losing my mind here. I'm sorry about this, but I was you're a flapper in one video, you're Bondish in another video. I mean,
Right.
you're all over the place, and your YouTube is just this amazing collection of all these different times and all these different historical moments that you've woven into your music. And it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun to listen to, and it's a lot of fun to watch as well, which is why you got Best Music Video by Glacier FM, which is really cool. Congratulations on that as well.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I like to be as cinematic as possible, and I like to invoke different characters. Like for body language, that was all Poison Ivy. I did like a Poison Ivy inspired video, and then for I'm Nice Till I'm Not, like you said, the flapper, the Gatsby, the old mobster speakeasy kind of prohibition look. I really was going full force with that. So Fly was just a whole like a whole cornucopia of different looks. Avalanche was like, the edgier form of Elsa from Frozen. So yeah, I really like to do that because having that cinematic appreciation and infusing that cinematic appreciation into my videos is something that I've always been, I would say, very consistent with.
Well, and putting yourself in all these different parts of history and everything like that shows that you have a very timeless look to you as well, because you really, I mean, you would do very well in the 1920s. You would do very well in all kinds of different realms, and you're a timeless beauty. So thank you for sharing that aspect of your personality.
Oh, well, Donka Shane.
Hey, I wanted to ask you a question. I was doing a bunch of research on you today.
Yes.
I've been doing this since 6 o'clock this morning. In fact, you're also a very big advocate for the LGBTQ world as well, are you not?
Yeah, well, when I was doing a lot of dance music, I was performing in a lot of the gay clubs, because a lot of the DJs on the Billboard panel were a part of that community. And I headlined the tea dance during Pride Month in New York 1 year. And I'm just a big I'm a big believer in like don't tell me what to do and don't tell me what like who to love. And but I will say, like, as far as now that I'm doing this bond project, like I said, I just want to keep it as unifying as possible, and not to say that my support for the LGBTQ community is forfeited. I just need to be in this scope right now because as we all know, there are different movements can create polarity, and Bond doesn't create that polarity.
Oh, well, and I don't mean to bring up anything or
Yes.
imply anything. I'm fully supportive of your positioning on this because
Yeah.
I have a number of friends that are part of that lifestyle, and
Mm.
it's nice to meet somebody that is of the same ilk as me. So thank you for doing that, and thank you for supporting all the world out there. And hey, it's I didn't mean to bring up any skeletons or anything like that, but
No, no skeletons. This is not a Tim Burton movie. This is a Cubby Broccoli movie.
okay. Well, so tell me. I mean, you're on both coasts. You're doing Las Vegas. You're doing South. You're obviously in Florida now. Are you in Florida now? Or are you in?
No, I'm in LA right now.
You're in LA right now. So
Yes.
you're bouncing between the coasts all the time. Are you not?
Yeah, well, I'm originally from Florida, South Florida, and throughout my career, I met people in Miami, and then that would lead to me working with a firm in New York. So I would go back and forth from Florida and New York a lot, and then and then from that experience in New York, it led me to an individual by the name of Jason Dallman, who was my Billboard promoter. He took me out here to LA to start working with creatives and producers and songwriters. And so then I started doing more of a back and forth from Florida to LA. And I was doing that for 8 years. And then 4 years ago, I made the permanent move out here.
Uh-huh.
So
So you're West Coast based as well as I am.
yes.
Okay, perfect. Well, so tell me about I mean, the fact of the matter is that there is a different world out here. It's a different kind of vibe on the West Coast, as I imagine you're experiencing.
Yes.
A little less hectic out here, but so tell me, what is it like being transplanted to the West Coast?
Well, I think because I was going back and forth, I was like getting I was let's just say like sinking my feet into the sand little by little.
Mhm.
So it's not like it was a huge like a culture shock or just transition. Um it wasn't so drastic. So that whole back and forth tenure or process was a just me digging my feet into the sand little by little, step by step. But I will say that there are some differences between Florida and LA. And there are also some differences between LA and Las Vegas too.
Oh, I would imagine
Um,
so. Yeah.
so I will say that LA has definitely changed over the years. I'll say that it's become more of the influencer and reality TV show capital of the world. And Vegas is still the entertainment capital of the world and is becoming even more so the entertainment capital of the world. Because in Vegas, you definitely need talent in order to be promoted and to be revered and to even be considered. Out here in LA, it's just all about what you're it's more about the who you knows and
The influencer category kind of
the
thing.
influencer category. So
Yeah.
so that's why when I was going back and forth from here in Florida for those 10 years, it was different in LA, and so that's why I moved out here. And then I think after the pandemic, it made kind of that shift. So and now Vegas has more opportunities for me.
Well, and that leads me into my next question, which is, how are you doing this as an independent artist? I mean, everybody has their perspective on, I've interviewed a bunch of different independent artists, and that's kind of, well, that's why we call this the indie wave, is because we don't really do any signed artists. But the truth of the matter is that, you have your own perspective on how indie artists do it, and you're doing phenomenally. I mean, your YouTube channel is on fire. You got over something like 25,000 monthly listeners up on Spotify. You're doing phenomenal. How are you doing that?
Well, it has been a process, and progress is never a straight line. And I've had experiences where I've had big teams and where I've had small teams. But I will say that having a small team is more effective than having a larger team. And I like to be in control of how I'm perceived out there. I like to be in control of my my YouTube accounts, my Instagram accounts, my Facebook accounts, because I have worked with social media firms in the past that have kind of administered that role, and I just wasn't happy with how they were perceiving me, because especially working with some firms out here in LA, like we were talking about, the influencer that crowd, the Gen Z. What I was trying to go for was more mature, more appealing, higher standards, more higher quality, and they just didn't get it.
Yeah.
I would have like this like amazing photo from my photographer Tolga when I had like red hair at the time, and it was like it was like out of a different era, and they would post that with like some like super, I don't know, like trivial caption like "red hair, don't care." That doesn't
that doesn't jive with you, apparently.
That doesn't jive with me. No, I like, if you work with me, like you have to, like, you need to bring your scuba gear, because I like to be, I like to show depth.
Yeah.
So I will say that now my team is rather small, and I like it that way, because that way it's easier to follow the breadcrumbs.
Well, do you find that you are, and forgive me for putting it this way, because you are much bigger than anybody else we've ever had on the show.
No.
But at the same time, I mean, you're still looking for that independent kind of, reach out there. You're still looking for the microclimates and the small groups of people that will fall in love with you and be adherent advocates of yours. Are you not?
Yeah, well, that's all about having an organic following, and having people that are following you legitimately for who you are, and just having that quality over quantity sense of following. And being that I've been doing this for over 15 years, I've cultivated that organic following, because like I said, through certain firms that I was working with, they would do like bots or bot followers, and that messes up your algorithm. Why? Because it's not organic.
Sure.
So
is that your little friend there?
Yeah, my cat, she wants to be interviewed. She wants to let everybody know that she's in heat.
Hey, you might as well advertise it,
Yeah, she wants everybody to know. But yeah, being independent right now is actually a blessing, because in this DIY world that we're living in, it's so important, because the gatekeepers are falling off. They're not really as much in charge anymore as we've seen. And like I said, I don't want to get into this, but certain events have led to certain people losing their power because of certain things that certain transgressions, I will say. So the gatekeepers are no longer, they don't have that authority anymore. And especially in the digital world, it's very much DIY. Like you have to come prepared with your own tools, your own promotional tools, like your social media, your videos, because also managers these days, or anybody in the industry, they're not looking to develop talent anymore, because they saw that when, like, for example, as much as I love her so much, but when it, like, even someone like Britney Spears, they would develop her, and she didn't really have any of those tools, whether it be like promotional, even like mental, emotional. She didn't come correct with those tools. So she ended up becoming a liability for her label as opposed to an asset.
Well, she just got arrested apparently yesterday out in California for drunk driving, and her life has been a mess apparently. But you seem much
Yeah.
better put together than she does.
Well, I will say that um well, as I'll finish up what I was saying. It's good to have that weave. But I will say that being independent is definitely a bonus in today's world. And especially when you have labels and agents and managers who are engineering a vehicle for the artist to drive, and that may not necessarily authentically gel with them or connect with them, then you run the risk of them also becoming a liability, because then they make unhealthy lifestyle choices because they're trying to cope, or because they're trying to fill a void. And that's only because they didn't authentically, or they weren't participatory in engineering their own vehicle. Um, and as far as me seeming put together, when I graduated high school, when I was 18, I obviously at that age, I was like, I want to go to New York. I want to go to LA. I want to do the Disney thing. I wanted to do the Nickelodeon thing. And my mom was like, she said, I'll make a deal with you. She said, you're going to go to college and get a 4-year degree in something other than music and something other than the arts, something more practical, which I agree with her, because when you're dealing with a major in the arts, you're majoring in fantasy.
Mm-hmm.
So my degree is in communications, international business, and broadcast journalism. And
Welcome, welcome, welcome to the front of the party.
yes. And after those 4 years, when I graduated college, I said I still wanted to pursue music, and she said, "Let's go." So I held up my end of the bargain, and also I avoided going out to a climate at like too young of an age, because then I would just become another statistic.
Yeah.
And I would be swallowed up. So I appreciate that my mom had those instincts and that like instinctive foresight.
Well, I gotta say that I think I echo your sentiment, because I didn't get back into journalism until 40 something years old, and I'm late to the party, but I think God was protecting me from becoming too big too fast, because I have a vicious appetite for excitement. So, but
Yes.
so let's wind this thing down, and so tell me, I mean, you're bigger than most of the artists we've had on this thing, and that's not a secret in any way, shape, or form. But what would be your advice to anybody that is trying to get into this business now? What would you advise them as?
Something that my dad always tells me, and that's hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Okay. Wow, that's pretty concise.
Because I mean, he comes from a sport background. He played a bunch of sports in high school, and he played on the Purdue football team. And that's a very goal-oriented sentiment, in that hard work does beat talent when talent doesn't work hard. And I mean, that's why these little teenagers in their rooms, and they're sitting there on their guitars, and they're like, why isn't anybody discovering me? well, you need to get out there.
You need to get out there.
You need to get out there. You need to put yourself out there. That's why you're seeing Real Housewives getting record deals, because they want it and they're putting themselves out there. And numbers don't lie and visuals don't lie.
Well, thank you for that, and thank you for your insight into that, because I think you're doing it. You're definitely getting the followers. You're definitely getting the playtime. You're getting your music heard, and you're doing what everybody wants to do, and you're doing it in a very, very luxurious and very impressive sort of way. So thank you for sharing with us what your advice might be.
Well, thank you very much. Yeah, it's something that my dad instilled in me all my life.
Well, he's spot on, I think, because I started this. I restarted this season up, and I have a couple of younger guys here that are playing in their neighborhoods in New Jersey, and they're doing what they're doing. But they got to hit the road. They got to go explore. They got to get seen around the world and do more things.
And also, I was these are really important too, because especially, well, I mean, these are important pre-pandemic as well, but also after the pandemic, a lot of people have stopped kind of going out, because some extroverts became introverts and introverts became extroverts through that whole circumstance. So people aren't really going out as much anymore, and what they're doing now is they're scrolling. So you have to get on the bandwagon, basically.
Sure. Yeah.
And you have to be a part of what people are scrolling through.
Well, you can count the Indie Wave as your newest subscriber on YouTube. We're your newest follower on Facebook. We've also, I was trying to find you on Instagram. I almost found you on Instagram, I think. But we're following you all over the place, and we're going to share your information out there. And I want to thank you for being here today.
Well, thank you. It was so fun being here and having this conversation. And thanks so much for being a part of the whole journey.
Well, it was a blessing to have you today, and it's a blessing to have somebody of your credentials on here, because quite frankly, I mean, you're all over the place, and apparently a lot of people have clued into you, and I'm late to the party, unfortunately. But at the same time, thank you for talking with me today, and thank you for playing along.
Oh, absolutely. And there's still hors d'oeuvres. There's still a bunch of hors d'oeuvres here at this party.
Well, folks, that's the interview for today and for this evening. And I want to thank you for watching. We're going to do a quick couple of ads for this, and then we're going to come back and we're going to play a couple clips from Kendra Erica. And Kendra Erica, I gotta get the name right. Kendra Erica, and we're going to play a couple clips of her music for you, and then we'll do a little clip of takeaway, and we'll close the episode out. But I want to thank her for being here today. And if you're liking what you're hearing here, tell a friend, tell a neighbor, do what you can to make sure that we get the subscribers and we get the playtime that we get. And thank you for tuning in, and we'll be right back after these messages. Klamath Falls is a lot of things to a lot of people, but the growing music industry in Klamath Falls is one thing that might surprise you. Thank goodness we have a music store on Main Street to meet the needs of musicians everywhere. A music store on Main Street specializes in services on stringed instruments and pianos. We have the largest selection of in-stock strings in Southern Oregon. Our family-run shop since 2011 has offered internet pricing with small-town service, including new large items like guitars, amps, electric pianos, effects pedals, and more. So stop in today at 1029 Main Street in Klamath Falls or call 541-205-6633. Upper Klamath Lake is home to so many species, but one of the most important to this place is the sacred chwam and koptu. These fish have fed the Klamath people for eons, and now it's looking like those fish may now finally go extinct. The Klamath tribes have declared an emergency about the declining numbers of fish who have just grown too old to keep going, and without young fish to reproduce, the older fish in this lake may be just the last. I aim to examine this story and tell why these fish are having such a tough time with low water levels and increasing pressure from agriculture and industry, And now the funding to help make this lake whole has dried up and is not likely to come back in the near future. Now is the time to tell the story of the Klamath Basin and the Chwam and the Koptu.
From the ashes, from the deepest part of my soul, it's a message from the corners of the world, yeah. And it's flowing through my veins, infecting my membrane. It is taking over, pull me closer, save me from the flames. All my life I've waited. See reflections on the water, more than darkness in the depths. See him surface and never a shadow. On the wind I feel his breath. Golden eye, I found his weakness. Golden eye, he'll do what I please. Golden eye, no time for sweetness, but a bitter kiss will bring him to his knees. You'll never know how I watched you from the shadows as a child. You'll never know.
Making it in the music business in 2026 is no longer about finding a door to kick down, but it's about building your own house and inviting the neighbors over. The traditional gatekeeper model has almost entirely dissolved, replaced by a complex ecosystem where an artist functions more like a tech startup founder than a wandering poet. Success today is defined by digital sovereignty, where owning your data and your relationship with your fans is far more valuable than a massive record deal that might have looked attractive a decade ago. The financial reality has shifted toward a hybrid income model. While streaming remains the primary way people consume music, it is rarely the way artists pay their rent these days. Instead, the middle class of the music world thrives through revenue diversification, sync licensing, placing music in films, advertisements, and the booming world of adaptive gaming provides the high-impact injections of cash that streaming lacks. Simultaneously, direct-to-fan platforms like Patreon or Bandcamp have matured into essential hubs where superfans fund the creative process through memberships and exclusive digital drops. Artificial intelligence has moved past the threat phase and is now a standard invisible intern in the artist's workflow. Musicians use AI to handle the administrative burdens, optimizing release schedules, mastering tracks instantly, and generating social media hooks to keep up with the relentless pace of the 2026 content cycle. However, because AI has flooded the market with functional or mood-based background music, a massive premium has emerged for human authenticity. Listeners are increasingly drawn to human-first branding, seeking out the specific stories, flaws, and personal narratives that an algorithm cannot replicate. Independence is now the ultimate destination rather than a stepping stone. Whether professional-grade distribution and analytics tools available to anyone, artists are choosing to keep 100% of their masters and publishing rights. The industry is currently defined by niche authority rather than broad, shallow frame. Succeeding today means identifying a specific community, often found in Discord servers or localized digital scenes, and serving them with consistency in this landscape. A hit isn't necessarily a song everyone in the world has heard. It's a song that your specific 10,000 fans cannot live without. And that's a wrap for tonight. I want to thank Kendra Erica for allowing us a few minutes of her time to talk. And if you want to find your way to the stars, you know where to reach us, and you know how to find us. And we welcome every artist out there to join for a chat and a few clips of their music. All you have to do is email us at info@thechartedlife.net. Now, do good, have fun, and sail far, my friends. I'm Christopher German, former captain turned journalist, and I want to thank you for watching and encourage you to tell your friends about us. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. God bless, and good night.